Oh, I'm screen sharing. Okay, now I'm not.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, I'm screen sharing. Okay, now I'm.
All right. Ms. Brown, go handle your business. I'm going to share in the chat. I'm going to share her link to her presentation.
All right, hang on. I'm just doing one more thing. Trying to be proactive here. Multiple tabs. All right. I guess we're good.
Yep, ready to rock when you are.
We're good? Okay, we're good. All right, so everybody, welcome back. And we are now focusing on Google Slides. And for those of you, if this is your first session, we'll introduce myself a little bit. My name is Amy Brown, and I am the music teacher at Laura Deering Elementary School. I've been there this is my 22nd year there, and I work with Mike. He does humanities as a special, and I do music. I've been trying to incorporate technology into my music curriculum for the past 5 years. So just I remember what it was like starting out, and it's very painful, and I did a lot of crying, and it's tough. But you do get better, and you just have to keep plugging away, knowing that this is a tough time right now. We're being asked to do a lot of things that maybe are not comfortable, but this gives us an opportunity to go ahead and experiment and try things out. And it's 100% that you are going to mess up sometime. That's how it is. So know that we're all in this together, and we will, Mike and I are here to help. If you need anything, even when you get off of here, just email me, and I'll be able to answer your questions the best I can. If I don't know the answer, I will either look it up or I'll ask Mike. That's usually what I do. I always try to look up the answer myself, and then I usually go to Mike if I need extra help. So just be patient with yourself and give yourself permission to know that this is going to be a learning curve for everybody. So let's get started into Google Slides. So our agenda for this hour is going to be very, very similar to Docs. If you did the Google Docs with me this morning, you're going to see a lot of similarities between Google Docs and between Google Slides. Google Slides, as Mike always says, is usually a little sexier than, than Google Docs, but you're going to see a lot of the same content that I cover, and then we can try to look at some other aspects and answer some more questions if we need to. So our main focus is, remember, we're talking about lesson planning, and collaboration is our theme for this distance con. So we're going to, again, look at things that are already done, okay, looking at templates, and then collaboration, how to collaborate with teachers using Google Slides, how to collaborate and give feedback to students, and then I'm going to show you how to embed these things, these slides into Canvas. And so that's where we are headed for this hour. So let's, before we go into that, I want to start with the templates. Let me think, here's one. There are two really good sites that I use all the time. Like if you're looking at my presentation right here, it might look like I spent oodles and oodles of time like developing this. No, the secret is use what's already done. So there are two really good template making slides that you already have. One I use a lot is Slides Carnival. And so if you go into Slides Carnival, you have slidescarnival.com. He'll put it in the chat, or you can just look up here as well. You have all of these different templates that are pre-made. It's just you download it and you change all their stuff and make it your own. You keep the backgrounds and the font and everything, and then you just add your own content. It saves a lot of time. I use this in all of my presentations. Like, so you see me using things today. I think this one is actually a different, we'll get to that one in a minute, but toggle between the two. So you can actually, you know, if you're looking for a specific color template, you know, like if your favorite color is purple and you always want something that's purple, you know, you can do that. Or if your trademark is pink, you can go and find all the pink ones. You can have formal slides and inspirational. There's all kinds of stuff here. Simple, elegant, business, whatever you're looking for. Let's start with playful though, because, you know, I'm an elementary student or an elementary teacher. Why not? So here's just some things that you could start with. We have a Jeopardy presentation slide. Notice the spelling, so they're not copywriting. You have all of these different really cool things. So let's just say I want this one. I actually have used this one before. Okay, and so if I want to see it, I go to preview and download. So you can see that this is 29 slides already built with all, this is the font you're going to get, this is the pictures you're going to get, and you can just go through and see what's on each page. So everything in Slides Carnival and the other one that I'm going to show you, it's pretty much the same formula. That's what a template is. It's using the same thing and just changing the background or the font or whatever here and there, changing the color scheme. So there's always going to be like a transition slide or a quote slide. But the good thing is once you download this, you can delete all them. You can take them out and you can change it and you don't even have to use them, or you can duplicate them and copy them. So I'll show you how to do that. But if you decide, oh, I really want to use this, you can use it as a Google Slides theme. Or if you are stuck in the land of PowerPoint, where that's your jam and you're not going to change, you can download it as a PowerPoint as well. So you have your option and then you just download it and it gives it to you, and then it's just you change the content. So again, we've talked about this whole day today, working smarter, not harder. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to do that. Here is one other one. It's called Slides Mania. And Mike can put that in, slidesmania.com. It's very similar, but again, you can look right here. It has the same kind of tabs up here, color schemes. There's an educational one specifically. And if we're talking about planning and collaborating, what I like about Slides Mania is there's a very easy weekly and yearly planner option. You also have things for choice boards and games and manipulatives. So as far as education based, this one may be a little bit more friendly for you to actually find what you're looking for. So if I go to weekly planners, there's all kinds of ones that, once again, they're already pre-made. So you just find the one that you want. I'm looking for the one that I like. It's this one. Mike shows us this one all the time. This is a good one because it sets it up by day. So if you're having the kids do something, you know, day by day that you want them to do, here's Monday's assignment, here's Tuesday's assignment. They click on it and everything is hyperlinked, which means that when you click on Monday, it takes you to the Monday slide. And then you can go into the home. When you're done with Monday, you go push on the little house, the home button, and it takes you back to the week. And then you can click on Tuesday. So it's very, very user friendly. So what you just do is, if you want that one, you just click on it and you can download it. Oh, here it is. I'm in the wrong place. All right. So you get to look at it here. It's a little different. It's in a Google slide. So you just use the tabs here. And it just, it'll walk you through. Now on this particular template, what is really cool is you can put your content. There's a placeholder for a video. If you're going to, like, if you were just in my screen recording one, this is where you could, hey, this is Brown today and we're learning steady beat, or hi, I'm Mrs. Jones and we're going to learn about, I don't know, I can't even think of anything right now. Parts of speech today. And whatever your thing is, you can put the video right there. It's like a placeholder. You can add verbal directions if you want to. Okay, so your verbal directions could be there. You would just have to make sure that you have the audio already in your drive, and then you would upload it to the slide. You can't really record right here in the slide. You have to have it already saved. You can add images, make it look really nice, and then add your content there. So if you say, hey, I like this, once again, all you do is you go to Google Slides and you download it as a slideshow, or if you really like PowerPoint, you can download it as a PowerPoint. So the key is, again, if things are already made, you want to go ahead and keep things simple. Keep it simple and already use what you have. So here's one that I found. I just found this template, and I went ahead and I just changed it to, once again, if you were in the Google Doc presentation with me, I made a lesson plan template where it's all based on the components of an effective lesson. That's what it is. Components of an effective lesson. So this template, I didn't do any of this. I just downloaded this, and it has the font that I want. I just added subject, week number, date, etc., etc. I did hyperlink everything here so that when you click on it, it'll take you right to that page, although I neglected to make a home button to bring us back to the table of contents, but that's something for later. So here it is, materials. Here are the content standards, the place, the learning target, and your objective. So it's just a little fancier, I guess. If you want it to look really slick, you could totally do that as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in right now, and I'm going to make this available. And because I don't have this in. So, it already is available. It says anyone with the link can view this. So I'm going to share this with Mike so that he can also go ahead and put it in the chat for you. I'll just make him a viewer. He doesn't need to change anything. Okay, there we go. So he can take that link and put it in, and then you can just make yourself a copy if you want it. Again, this took me, I don't know, like 10 minutes because all I did was download the thing, and then I just changed it to what I want, basing it on the content, the components of an effective lesson. So the key is you want to make things simple. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. And so like we talked about before, one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're working as a team, that your team is really working together. You don't want to have people isolated and trying to do their own thing. If you can get people to work together and each take a little section of something, it's going to make everybody's job easier. But if people start getting, frustrated and I'm not sure what the word is, not selfish, but where everyone's like, well, I'm doing this and I don't care what you guys are doing, then we're just causing more tension. We're not really working cohesively. And, when you're trying to lesson plan in a grade level, you need to be cohesive. You really need to be working together. So here's a couple of other things that are in the slideshow for you. I'm going to start here. And this is a unit plan. So this is something that Mike made a long time ago with us. And then I just changed it for what I wanted. So it has the same basic flow of, who I am, what I'm doing. Here's the table of contents and the different places. But I could make my units and I could long range plan for the year. And so here's my unit title, my goal, possible student knowledge. And so it got really, he really helped us to get really specific and think about what are we trying to teach and why are we teaching it? What's the purpose of it? And so as it goes down, it shows how long it's going to take. And when we get to the standards, I started putting in not just music standards, but doing a cross-curricular standard with other, what are their grade level standards. So when I'm doing Steady Beat, they're also getting all of those, I should have gone back, all of these speaking and listening goals when they're doing Steady Beat with me. When they're doing Steady Beat, they're writing, not as much, but they're doing some writing. They're using language skills. So I tried to add some cross-curricular things as a specialist of how I'm supporting the curriculum. So this is a very, very detailed unit plan, but it's in there if you want to, you know, make yourself a copy and then you can change it to what you want. And if you all want to use it as a unit planning tool for your whole grade level, you could do that as well. This one is a template that I got from Slides Carnival. Mike will probably recognize this. It was way, way back, way back. And this is my opening slideshow. So every single year when I'm live with the students, I do this little slideshow, and I'm obviously going to modify it this year, but it's just, you know, it's the template. It looks like a book. It has the font that comes with it, and then I just added my own material. So, oh, I have a little sound bite there. I don't want to do that. I forgot I had that. So we'll just go to here. Come on, get out of this. All right, so what I did was I just told them a little bit about myself. You know, here's all about Mrs. Brown. Here's what I like to do. They think it's hilarious when they see me zip lining and snow skiing because, you know, hey, who knew teachers did fun stuff like that? Zip lining over alligators last summer. And then what I did was, let's see. So I got to the class expectations, and then I was able to animate the slides so I could go one at a time. Just makes it a little fancier. And then I took the video out just for privacy rules. But each year I usually videotape, the year before, I videotape students doing these class expectations because they'll want to listen to me or they'll want to listen to their classmates a lot more than maybe listening to me just want. So that would be another way to use Google Slides. No matter what content area you have, you're going to need to have some opening procedures, and this just makes it very visually appealing, and you can do all kinds of really fancy things with it. So I did include that. Just make a copy for yourself, and that would be something really cool for you. Okay, so if I look here, this is my slides, and now let's talk about some of the different things about collaborating. You're going to see a lot of, because Google is, you know, Google has everything. They make it easy for you. So if you know how to use something in Google Docs, you know how to use it in Google Slides, and you see the same features in the different Google products. So some of this is going to be very familiar to you because if you went to the Google Docs session, you're going to see the same thing. Okay, so the first thing is when you're sharing. So just right now, when I was trying to share this to make sure everybody had access to it, you just come up here and you can see I shared it with Mike. And you have to make sure, I've already messed up today before. This is the one thing, this is my nemesis. You know, everybody has something that they're like, duh, you know, I should have known that. And for technology, this is my nemesis every time. I always forget to change it so that it's not just Clark County or it's restricted or anything like that. Because when I'm presenting, you know, there might be people outside the district and they need access. And so a lot of times, if you don't change that, you're going to be getting emails or texts, hey, I need access. So if you take care of that up front, then that will prevent that. I'm going to show you one more thing. If you are, let's say you are using, I'm going to put Mike's name in again, just because I want to show them this part. Okay, so if you decide to use this as a template for your lesson planning or your unit planning, you're going to need to have people have access to it. Okay, so they're going to need to see it so that you can collaborate and talk back and forth with each other. So I put Mike's name in, and we already talked about this with like the Google form, and I talked about it with Google Docs. You need to come over here and you need to push this little down arrow and decide what kind of access you're going to give that person. If you make them a viewer, all they're going to be able to do is see it. They're not going to be able to make changes. You know, sometimes that's good if you just want them to see something, especially if you're giving a Google slide presentation to your students. You know, if you set it up that way where they view it, there's other ways up here where you can copy it and make it, you know, just view only when you send the URL. But when you're trying to do it with a person, you want to check that out. If you want them to actually be able to collaborate, you have editor and commenter. And we had talked about, you know, you have to be careful if you give editing rights to everybody. You know, I trust Lang with my life, but I'm not going to have him change my whole slideshow because it would drive me nuts. I have to have a little bit of control. And if you have just you, the person that created it, making all the changes, it'll probably save you a lot of headache, because if he goes and changes it and I don't realize it, you know, something might be missing later. So the best thing that you're going to probably want to do is make that person a commenter. And this way people can still, they can still go ahead and collaborate, but they're not going to be able to change anything directly for you. Okay, so in slides, it's a little different. In if you remember in docs, you highlight, and then there's a bubble that comes up over here where they can say what make the comment. In slides, it's a little different. You're just going to go to the comment, and you're going to right here where it says comment. Okay, so now I can put my comment. I don't like this slide. Okay, so I can comment, and now everyone can see what those comments are, or when everyone's giving me suggestions, this is what I'm going to see on my end, whoever I shared it with. So like all of you up here, you could comment, and then I would be able to change it, but you wouldn't. And that kind of keeps it so that only one person is making these changes. The other thing that we showed you in docs, and the same thing applies, okay? Same exact thing applies. Let me go up here though to the 3 dots. You can edit the comment, you can delete the comment, or you can put a link to this comment. And I can do it that way, but I'm going to show you another way as well to do it. So let me just edit. Okay, in case you forget the whole link function, you can do it another way. You can just go here, put this in, and put a link to another website, and that's fine. But in case you forget that, this is probably a little easier. So let's say let's say that Mike was the one that commented this, and he said, I don't like this slide. Okay, so I can type in here and say, if I save, I can reply to him. And I lost my reply. There we are. I can reply to him, what would you like to call it? And if I want it to be just to him, because he's going to be the one that's going to be responsible for renaming the slide, I can click the at button, and you can see that it has, there we go. Let me try that again. When you click the add button, I got to go back. I was just trying to scroll down. It brings up all of the people that I normally are talking to on a regular basis or have done recently. But if I start typing in Mike's name, you see it comes up Michael Lang. Okay. And then this is going to go directly to him. So it's going to go to his email, and he's going to be assigned to that task. So if you're the GLC or team leader of your group, that way you can assign different tasks to different people and get them to focus on that, and then you can make the changes. The other thing of putting a link in here is if maybe I have ideas of what I want him to call it. Maybe we want to call it something based on these ISTE standards, these computer technology standards for students and for educators, which I think he put that in the chat for you as we were talking about that. So if I want to copy this, and then I want to come back over here, nope, not there, nope, not there. I got to find the right one. Where am I? Nope, oh my gosh. There I am. I made that might not have been the same one either. There I am. Oh my goodness, too many tabs. All right, I go ahead and I just paste that link in there, okay? And then when I push reply, now that turns it into a hyperlink. It's blue. And so I just, when I get this comment, I just go ahead and touch the blue words, and it's going to take me to that website. So now Mr. Lang, and oh, now I can look through the standards and decide what I really want to name it. Okay, so you could do that. You could do that through here, like we said. Go back to edit. Go up here. All right. So you have these different, those are just some 3 basic options that you can do. Now, if you're going to have students collaborate, look at how, I mean, easy that is with them as well. So let's say you put out, you know, you give them some kind of slideshow that they have to respond to, and they have to work in teams or whatever that is. You can also put those links in so that they can, you know, if they need help, I don't know, maybe they didn't use capitalization correct in one of their slides. So you could put a website in here that shows them how to capitalize correctly, and then send it to that specific person using the @ sign, and then it will take them there and they can help that out as well. You could have the students go ahead and if you're trying to do collaboration, I know in our classrooms, we have them in pods, or not pods, but a lot of times we have them in groups. If you've gone through any Kagan training, you know, you have them in groups of 4 where they can have shoulder partners and face partners. Online, that's not going to happen, but you could still assign shoulder and face partners, or just shoulder partners, and have them collaborate and be on each other's, and then they could give the feedback that way. So you would just have to, if you did the screen recording session a minute ago or last hour with me, you would probably have to make a screen recording of walking the students how to add somebody to their slide and how to make sure they're, you know, a commenter, not an editor. And then they would be able to comment on each other's as well. This would be good for feedback for you as the teacher. So if you're, you know, if this is an assignment and they need a little bit of extra help, if you also teach them, hey, type in Mrs. Brown's name and make me a commenter and I will explain it to you. I still wouldn't have the student make you the teacher and editor because then you're kind of taking that step of them problem solving and fixing their own mistakes out of the equation. You're doing the editing for them. So I suggest that they just make you a commenter. You comment your tips and say, hey, here's what you need to do. And then they can go back in and edit their stuff there. So let's take a look at just a couple of basic things that you're probably going to want on Google Slides. You know, this isn't a whole Google Slides session per se, but we'll go ahead and give you a couple of tips and tricks. We've always talked about template galleries. I took you to Google, not Google, sorry, long day, Slides Carnival and Slides Mania, which I really like. They're really fancy. But you do have, before you make a blank one, you do have some templates right here that if you have a specific thing that you want to do, a specific theme, you could do that. And it looks like we have a little reflective reading journal, which looks new to me. So that might be something definitely worth checking out. But again, always go to your templates or Slides Mania and Slides Carnival. They have a lot more, obviously, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. If you can have a starting place, it's always a lot easier. But I'm just going to go ahead and start a new one. And the basics of what you're going to really, really want, and when you're doing your slides, if you want a theme that's already in slides, you have these basic themes that you can pick from as well. Okay, so it's more of a color palette for you. So you can do that. It automatically pops up. You can just change, you know, if you're doing slide by slide and you just want to change the background, it gives you lots of colors. So again, if purple's your favorite color, you know, you can add that and that would be fine. It might be a little too bright, but if that's what you like or whatever, you have the option right here to make it different colors. Okay, your layout. So it's going to automatically bring you to this slide where you have like your title. And if you want a different thing, you can always just take off the boxes. But if there's something specific, like you want a title in the top left or you want a caption on the bottom, you can always go and change that right away. And then you can add that as well. Couple of more really easy tips and tricks for you that is going to be helpful if you haven't really used slides a lot. When you go under slide, you can make a new slide. You can duplicate the slide. So if you have a picture, you can just duplicate it and it'll make the same thing underneath. You can delete a slide, skip over, but that's the most important one, I think, is duplicating so that you don't have to redo it. If you saw in my slideshow in the beginning where I do the procedures at the beginning of the year, where you have like a transition from one slide to another, that's me being really fancy. Honestly, when I'm in a rush to make things, I never, like you saw this, not that I was in a rush to make this presentation, but a lot of times it's just easier to click the next slide. But if you want to get really fancy, you have that option of making transitions as well. So again, working smarter, not harder. I wouldn't suggest doing transitions at the very beginning. But what I do want to bring your attention to is two more things up here without going through every single tool. The insert one is the one that you're going to want to use a lot. When you're trying to make your presentations or your worksheets or your collaborative projects or your lesson plans, whatever, you don't want it to be just text. So you can add an image. This is where, when it says insert, this is where you're going to add an image. And it says, you can see that you can upload it from your computer on the desktop. You can search on the web to upload something, and we'll show you a different way to add photos in a minute where you're 100% sure that you're not copywriting existing pictures. You can take something from Google Drive or Photos. You can do it by a URL, or you can use your camera right there and take the picture. Again, if you want audio instructions, so let's say you've created some kind of lesson in here for your students, and you know they can't read the text very well, or there's some vocabulary words there that they can't do. You can audio record, not in Google Slides, but if you record it off of Google Slides in another capacity, like you can do stuff on your iPad or on your phone or whatever it is, and just make a recording, you could go ahead and do that and just upload the sound. You can add a video. You have video options of searching YouTube by URL and Google Drive. So you can go ahead and do that as well. Those are the key things that you're going to probably want to use. Some people use tables, kind of like when we were doing the lesson plans in Google Docs. This is how I made those fancy lines. Word art, all that kind of stuff. So these are like your gems of what you're going to do to put things in. The last thing that I want to show you is the add-ons, because in my add-ons, I have Nearpod and I have Unsplash. Nearpod is a whole nother webinar that we would have to go through. But if you were in the Nearpod, remember that's where you can add that, and that's, you can go ahead and explore that on your own. Unsplash, though, is a free website for uploading or dropping in pictures that are copyright free. They're free to use, and you're not going to be breaking copyright law. What the good thing is about these add-ons is, normally I would have to go open a new window. I'd have to look for I'd have to go to Unsplash, look for the picture. I'd have to download it. Then I'd have to upload it to the slide. If you add it as an add-on, it brings it up to the side. You type in what you're looking for. Donuts. I don't know. Why am I hungry? I don't know. You pick the picture you want. You resize it, and it goes right to your slide. You do whatever you want there and move it where you want. And that's a lot less steps than opening a new window, looking for a picture, downloading it, uploading it, all that stuff. So that's a gem for you. When you go to your add-ons, you probably will have nothing here because if you haven't used the add-ons, there's nothing there. So if you just go to get add-ons and then you could type Unsplash, if you know what you're looking for, you could just browse and then it'll just say add it or and let's get one more thing. Let's talk about uploading this now to Canvas. Okay, so I have my long range plans, or I have my lesson plan template, or I have my activity with the students about donuts, or whatever it is that you're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to now come over here and I'm going to publish to the web. Okay, now I can go over here and do this, but I'm going to publish to the web, and it's going to give me these two choices of a link or an embed code. If you've been in the trainings at all today, what do we want to do when we can? Wait time, embed. So I'm going to get the embed code, and then I'm going to publish that. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go into my Canvas, and I've opened up a new page. And remember, when you're embedding something, you don't want to go up here. You want to come down. Remember, embed is greater than and less than sign, chomping at each other. Whatever works, right? Okay, so you look for that down here in the right corner, and then I'm just going to paste it. After you paste it, it's going to look like a bunch of gobbledygook. Push save. And then your Google slideshow is embedded right in your Canvas, and then all the students have to do is click it. Okay, so you can see right here, all they have to do is click the slide, and they'll be able to watch the whole thing. This is not like a video or anything. So you can see back here, they can toggle back and forth. They can pick the slide, but it's all right here. It's like they would normally see it. Okay, the other way, you've heard Mike talk about it, and I talked about it as well. Sometimes things don't work the first time, or you may not have an embed code. Sometimes an embed code is not available. So your workaround, or your other way to do that, I don't know where my donut went. Here it is. Okay, we can go to the link. All right, so if we just go to the link, and we're going to now go back over here to there we are. All right, so I'm gonna take my link. It looks like a little paperclip thing here. The same thing from the beginning of the day to today. Go down into the little drop down external link, and I'm going to paste it, and that's not right because that is the embed code. So let me go back. See, it's good to know that that's not right. If you have a link that long, it's probably wrong. Okay, so we're going to go to link. Why is that not showing up? We'll go up here. Doop, doop. Donuts. 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 All right, so here's my link. Always know the backup plan. Make sure that your link is anyone can view. Right now it's in Clark County, so I don't want to do that in case someone else wants to watch it. Okay, so I copy the link. I come up here to my embed again, paste it, and what do I want it to say? Well, I probably don't want that whole gobbledygook thing because that's what's going to show up on the screen. So I want, that's going to be overwhelming for a student. So here, oh my goodness, here is your assignment about donuts. I think I missed pink box, Mr. Lang. All right. Oh my gosh, I still can't spell. Okay, there we go. Done. And then don't forget, when you put it there, you have to go down and save it. And this is what they're going to see. So you would have to, once again, walk them through with a tutorial on how to navigate through Canvas, and that when they see something that's blue, you're going to have to click on it and it will take them to where they need to go. What you're going to probably, I should have done this. I'm going to back up again. I've got time. You're going to probably not want to do that because they're going to be able to change your stuff. So what you're going to want to do, let me go back in and show you the trick here. Because you definitely don't want them changing your content. Not a good plan. So I'm just going to highlight this and go back to link options, and I'm going to change the link. Okay, so what you're going to do at the end, oh, it might be okay with sharing, but just to make sure, if you want to copy for each person, where it says edit right there, you're going to want to delete everything that says edit, and you're going to want to put copy. That way, the students are forced to make their own copy. So I'll show you what that looks like. That way they're not changing your stuff. That would be a bad thing. Okay, so this way, see how it's going to make you make a copy. That way there's no question about the kids are messing around with your pictures and your content. It'll force them to make a copy. So that's just a little trick. I also, in the last session, I also forgot to show you one thing. So let me just take care of that now. There are, oh, it's right here. It is. Okay. So let's say you want to record right in Canvas. Okay. So I said in the last session, and I totally forgot about it, but if you didn't want to use Loom and you wanted to record everything in Canvas, if you go to your page, and then you come up here and you see this little, it's not the link, it's not the picture, it's the little music and video. You can go right here, and instead of upload, you're still gonna push the first one because you're gonna record media. So I'm gonna go to the record. I'm gonna allow myself, and so see, here's where I could go ahead and record my content. So I could just start recording. It's going to do the same thing as Loom. Hey, second grade, it's Mrs. Brown coming at you right from the Brown household. And I'm tired, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So there you go. Hey, second grade, it's Mrs. Brown coming at you right from the Brown household. And I'm tired, and we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, so I can start over if I want, or I can save it and it's embedded right there. If I start over, what you can also do when you go to record is you can choose just the microphone option. I think it's the microphone. You can choose, oh yeah, go to webcam and no video. So if you wanted to make directions, then you could just start the recording and it would just be audio directions embedded into your Canvas. Hey, second grade, I want you to click on that link and you're going to learn all about donuts today. And when we're finished, we're going to have a little discussion. So I push save. So here's my link, and here is where they can listen to the directions. It would be, if I made the video would be there as well, and then you just push save, and it's all there for you. Okay, so I apologize, I didn't get to that in the last one, but that's what we do. All right, so our finishing, I think I covered everything, just a quick little review. I know it's just about 10 minutes, so talking about review templates. There's plenty of pre-made ones in Google Slides, Slide Mania, Slide Carnival. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Make sure if you can collaborate that you all use one template together in one grade level so you're collaborating and sharing. You can do it for weekly plans, for unit plans. The more you guys are cohesive as a team, the better it's going to be for all of you working together, but it's going to reflect with your material that you're sending to your students. As far as collaboration, it's very similar to Docs with the sharing rights, assigning and adding links, and then for students, collaborating and feedback. So Let's go. That was a lot, but I think we got it. So are there any questions before we head out?
Yeah, I mean, good job, bro. Okay, let me turn YouTube on. Good job. That was a lot. So
that was a lot.
So slides, again, we had one question from Candace, and like that's the thing that kind of one of the things I would really challenge you to deal with is Google Classroom has a lot of very cool features that for the collaboration that Canvas is not going to give you without doing the kind of hack that Brown did, which she had to go and create a copy for everyone by forcing everyone to have their own copy. It's not like inside of Google Classroom where you could make the assignment and everyone gets their own copy as an assignment. That you're going to have to hack it that way, and that kind of stinks. But it's another reason why hacking the two learning management systems together until you kind of get a grip on both of them, I think is the best strategy, perhaps, until you got to a point where you were comfortable in Canvas. But especially for little kids, if you're dealing with K1, 2, Canvas is not a K1, 2 tool when you're not there to put the training wheels on the kid to walk them through it. And that's just going to be the long and short of it, in my opinion. But given that, again, awesome sauce. It was a great presentation, Brown. The slides, you don't have to just present on Google Slides. They're a very, very versatile tool. And whether you do your writing lessons through it, you can upload your videos from Google Drive onto those slides as well. Any audio up to on your Google Slides, lots of things. But for an hour, that was pretty comprehensive. We could do a week-long training on Google Slides and not get to everything. But Slides Mania and Slides Carnival, go steal their stuff, just replace their information and rock and roll. That's the biggest piece that you should take out of that presentation, that you don't have to make anything from scratch. She didn't show how to share the computer screen on Canvas. What do you mean, LJ? Can you do that too? Computer screen in terms of embedding your computer screen inside of Canvas. You can, in theory, do that. I mean, you could, again, Loom does that. You can record. You could also do so this is another not advanced strategy, but like a shortcut strategy. I'm just going to do it really quickly because we can, it's not going to take me very long to do the Spark situation. Let's share my screen very quickly. And so this is something else that if you're you're more of a, I know how to use PowerPoint very well. And Google Slides is just PowerPoint online. Utilize that kind of idea that I'm just going to, this is just PowerPoint online. It's not something that's going to be outside of the, of what you've been expected to do. You've kind of put a slideshow together. I'm just going to use this one very quickly. So, let me share my screen. All right. So during the emergency deal that we did, I had the kids create a zoo. All right, and so this was the little deal here. Great. Now I want the kids to have this PowerPoint. I'm not as comfortable perhaps with just recording stuff, and I want also accessibility. That's the other thing to think about, right? There are going to be kids who are visually impaired. There are going to be kids who are deaf and hard of hearing. There are going to be kids who have physical opportunities. You got to think about every kid that you're going to have as you go through this. So if I want to have a scenario in which I'm recording my screen and I'm still going to give kids options, if I go to my present tab here, I'm actually going to do that way. I'm just going to presenter view here. All right, so you should be able to see that. Great. What I'm going to do is come up to that rows like Brown showed you, the Loom. All right. And I'm going to go to current tab there. Wonderful. And you should see me twice on the screen, which is weird. And I'm actually going to go to screen only right now. That way I don't have to see myself. All right. And all right, cool. Let me move this over. So if you see at the bottom of the screen down here, I've got all these tools. One is captions down there. So I'm going to turn the captions on. And that's going to give me the ability for my voice to have those words at the bottom so that as I'm recording, I can go and walk the kids through. And if they're kids who's deaf or hard of hearing, or someone who, perhaps I take my camera off just like I did, and somebody can't read my lips, it's going to show my words there at the bottom. Great for your ELL kids, great for your pre-primers, great for your functionally illiterate students, but also great for kids who just don't want to hear your voice. I just want to read what you're saying. All right. Great strategy. Doesn't, it's just turning on the captions at the bottom. You hit the start recording button there and you handle your business. And again, sometimes I get sick of my own voice, so I do that often so I don't have to hear myself. But if you're looking at like when I'm downstairs on your phone and you don't want the noise from your phone to disturb your spouse or whoever's over, whatever, having the captions on lets you read what's going on in the video without you having to turn the volume on, which is going to also be something that a lot of kids are going to go through. I'm going to have brothers and sisters, extended family or whatever. If I turn that noise on, I may not be able to hear you. Having those closed captions are going to be able to do what you need to do. All right. In terms of embedding your video, you can take Loom and embed that right inside of the deal as well. So that's going to help you out a lot in terms of getting pre-primers, your quasi-literate people, EL kids, your kids who have accessibility issues, those kind of things. Thinking about all the kids now, that's going to be very important. Special ed, and Brian and I have to do the autism courses, and the severely learning disabled courses as well. We have to think about those students as you're recording videos and doing all that kind of stuff. So, all right, cool. And again, it's just about 2 o'clock. Let's pick it up at 2:10. That'll give you another 10-minute break. Give me a chance to my legs are asleep, so give me a chance to stand up and move my legs around a little bit. Brown, great job today. I appreciate you. And
no worries. I'll see you tomorrow at 11. I have a training from 8 to 10 where I'm going to be the student instead of the teacher. So I got to do that. And then I'll see you guys at 11 for Google Drive. So enjoy Mike's session. You'll learn a lot about Adobe Spark. So that'll be good. I use it all the time.
Spark is definitely one of those deals we can deal with. So that's the lesson here. Okay. So this 2 o'clock, let's take a 10-minute break and we'll catch you at 2:10.